Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I'm Charlie from Conscious Creation, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you how you can go about and defeat a destructive pendulum. Now, a pendulum is a concept taken from a book called Reality Transurfing, and I'm going to explain to you what a pendulum is, how it affects you from reaching your goals and the things that you want to create in your reality, and how you can go ahead and overcome a destructive pendulum. In today's video, we're going to be talking about pendulums. The concept of pendulums comes from a book called Reality Transurfing, and pendulums can have a big effect on us reaching our goals. So I'm going to share with you what pendulums are and how they are affecting you in your reality and what you can do to stop these pendulums affecting you so you can reach your desires much quicker. Let's start off talking about what a pendulum is. It's simply a collective way of thinking. It's an energetic thought structure that can hijack your thoughts and your emotions. These thought structures can't survive without human thought. So as long as enough people are thinking about it and focusing on it, it will survive. So these are three big pendulums. Nowadays, we've got things like media, things like politics, things like religion. Now, if you think of a pendulum that goes back and forth, once it builds enough momentum, the pendulum just takes care of itself. Let's take the media, for example. Now, in the 1950s, when it started to come more on TV, probably a couple of 100,000 of people would have tuned into that, and that would have started this pendulum. And this pendulum has built over time. And nowadays we've got things like newspapers, 24/7 news. So it is a very big pendulum. If we take things like religion, you've got opposing thought energies towards that singular pendulum. Someone who is religious towards something and someone who isn't. And those battling thoughts actually increase the size of the pendulum. They suck people in. We've even got blueprints for pendulums nowadays. For example, you might go to school, go to college or university, get a degree, then get a job, get married, get a house, get kids. These are all blueprints that people follow, and they are pendulums, collective ways of thinking that we all agree to. Now, you can get positive pendulums and you can get negative pendulums. The pendulum might be for you or it might be against you. But what a pendulum does, it connects into your emotions. It hooks you emotionally, and you invest your time, your energy, and your money into that pendulum. For example, if we look at something like makeup, that pendulum is specifically towards women. It will hook them emotionally. If you wear this makeup, you will look more beautiful. It's not going to hook as much men because obviously men on the whole don't wear makeup. However, the pendulum of sports, that's going to hook more men into that pendulum. Now, what a destructive pendulum can do, a negative pendulum, is it can drain your intention energy. And as we know, we need intention energy to achieve our goals. It's much easier to do when we have this intention energy. So you need to ask yourself, is the pendulums that you are giving your attention to, is there a payoff? Are you getting something in return? Because if you aren't, then we need to learn to let go of those pendulums. For example, if you watch the media every night and it is making you anxious and it is making you stressed and it's not helping you in any way, that is a negative pendulum. And we need to learn to let go of these negative pendulums because they are draining our intention energy. Let's say you no longer want to be in a 9-to-5 job. You want to create your own business online, and you're figuring it out. Like, I want to make money online either as an internet marketer or selling a product or your business or your services. But there's a 9 to 5 pendulum, which a lot of people buy into. Now, when you go through the process of identity shifting into that new version of yourself, you're shifting onto a new lifeline, a new timeline. Pendulums are always about, but pendulums are going to test you more so when you are in the process of transferring to a new timeline. For example, let's say you no longer want to be in a 9 to 5. Now, if a 9 to 5 is for you and that's what you want and that makes you happy, then that pendulum is for you. But if you want to make money online and you want a different lifestyle, obviously that pendulum isn't for you anymore. So once you switch onto the lifeline where you are making money online, everyone connected to the 9 to 5 pendulum might say to you, it's not a good idea, it's not going to work. Only very few people have made it work. And if they hook you emotionally, that pendulum will affect you. It will drain your intention, energy, and you will find it difficult to stay in that timeline. Once you have shifted into that new timeline, these different types of pendulums will bring a sense of fear and a sense of doubt within your body. And if we allow that to overtake us, we're not going to be able to stay in that lifeline. And that's when we need to become more conscious and more aware of the pendulums that no longer serve us. So let's say you've made the decision to shift into a certain identity of making money online. Remember, the pendulum will test you. So you might get people around you trying to control you, telling you it's a bad idea. A common one that I see in young people is they want to do something different to what their parents thought was normal, and their parents might get angry, telling them it's a bad idea. Obviously, the parent is just trying to care for them and wants to look after them. But many times when you have your own aspirations, it's because they're in a certain pendulum, and therefore that pendulum is carrying on to you. So you need to be conscious and not allow that pendulum to hook into your emotional state. Otherwise, you are going to shift down the timelines to more of a timeline where you don't actually experience the things that you want in your reality. Because remember, when it comes to reality transurfing, when it comes to the process of shifting onto the reality that you want, is we can't be manipulated by negative pendulums. If it's a positive pendulum that is giving you something in exchange that will help you to achieve your goals, then that pendulum is fine to invest your time, your energy, and your money into. But if it's not, we need to become conscious and stop it from draining our intention energy. I'm going to share with you 2 really powerful ways on which you can stop a negative pendulum draining your intention energy, which will then actually stop you from achieving the things that you want in your reality. So the first way that you can do it is just simply ignore the pendulum by not reacting to it. Because if you don't react to the pendulum, it can't hook into you emotionally. An example would be, let's say you're watching the media and something on the media starts to make your blood boil, and you become conscious of this and you decide to ignore it, not to react to it. Because remember that whenever you shift into a new timeline, a pendulum is going to test you. So all you need to do is to become aware and realize, oh, okay, this is just a test from the pendulum, and all I need to do is simply observe it without reacting to it. The second way that we can defeat a negative or destructive pendulum is to go against what it is trying to do to us. For example, let's say we want to leave that 9 to 5 pendulum and we want to go full time what we want to do online, making money that way. Now, when you start to feel those fears or those doubts arise within you, just simply go against them in an opposite way. So you start to feel a sense of joy and enthusiasm and excitement for doing the online way of making money. Instead of allowing those negative thoughts of, oh, this isn't going to work, not many people are doing this, or what if it doesn't work for me? You switch those fears and those doubt to a sense of excitement, and you start to go against the pendulum. Now, if you can implement these two powerful ways to defeat a destructive pendulum, you are going to stay in the highest timeline, where you are going to experience the reality that you desire.